Let's see. Okay. Think we're good. If not, I still have some. I have data that I can use. I can just turn my Wi-Fi off if I need to keep this live going. But anyway, yeah, last week's video was Take My Life and Let It Be, talking about surrender and giving all to Christ, your voice, hands, feet, your monies, treasures, your talents, pretty much, all to Christ. And in that, I had kind of briefly mentioned that it goes along with um, this week's hymn, and I had asked if any of y'all had any guesses to go ahead and put them in the comments. No one guessed, but that's okay. So we are doing I Surrender All today. So I've loved how the last 3 weeks hymns have kind of tied in together. This hymn was written in 1896 by Judson W. Vandeventer. I don't even know if I'm saying his name correctly. Obviously German descent. I don't know German, so I'm pretty sure this is German. But before I get too far into it, all my information is from Then Sings My Soul by Robert J. Morgan and published by Thomas Nelson. Yeah, and I just kind of summarized the article, so I'm not reading it word for word, except maybe a few quotes here and there by the author or someone who knew the author of the hymns. I will be getting into some new or other books, hopefully soon. Like I said, it's not set up the same way, so I'm just trying to figure out how I can summarize the longer bits. Sometimes it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 pages for a backstory for one hymn about the author. So that's what we're going to do. Today, though, we are going to stick with my Then Sings My Soul book. Like I said before, this hymn was written in 1896 by Judson W. Vandeventer. And this hymn was written out of pretty much years of fighting God's will for his life. So I'm just going to call him Judson because that's easy. I can pronounce that easily. But let's see, he was born on a farm in Michigan in 1855. And he grew up, like most kids, interested in art and music. But, nothing really too much into it just yet. When he was 17, he got saved, and after a few years later, after graduating from a college in Hillsdale, Michigan, Judson actually became an art teacher and the supervisor for the art department in a high school in Pennsylvania. So he was able to put his art to good use, and we'll find out in just a couple minutes that he was able to use his music for good. In the 1880s, he toured around Europe, visiting different art galleries and museums, just to study the paintings that were in there. As a musician, for me, I like listening to other musicians, other pianists, kind of studying their style, how they played things, being like, oh, I like that about that person's style. I like this about this person's style. And as I'm getting into arranging my own hymns, or doing my own arrangements of hymns, I should say, I like to draw from, like Shelley Hamilton over here, Aaron Bates Payne over here, Raluca Boter over here. I like to get all of, like a melting pot, like something like that, and just try to figure out what works best for me and all. And I imagine that's what Jetson was doing with the paintings. He was an art teacher, an art supervisor. So he's just trying to study, learn more about it, look at different techniques, things like that, and see what he likes best, what he can try to do. Um, so, yeah, I make that, I kind of got that connection when I was reading this article. But he didn't leave his music behind. He grew up and studied in several different music or singing schools, and he put that to use in his local Methodist Episcopal church. He sang in the choir, did a little bit of playing, but mainly he sang. He was especially fulfilled spiritually when he participated in evangelistic rallies and revivals where people would get saved, turn their lives over to Christ, and just yield to Christ as their personal savior. He was talking to several friends about the way it fulfilled him, and his friends tried to encourage him to resign from teaching, resign from the school system, to enter full-time musical evangelism. But he struggled with that for 5 years. It says in the book 5 years. It could have been longer. We just know roughly about 5 years. And I can kind of see why he struggled with that. On one hand, this, like, for him, being an art teacher, art supervisor, studying paintings, this is a comfort zone. This is all he's known. This is what is, helping him earn his living. But on this hand, you have the will of God, people getting saved. Where's my next paycheck? What's going to happen? The uncomfortable zone. So, you try to, I don't want to say weigh the pros and cons, but that's kind of what I get he was doing for 5 long years. Makes a steady income here, uncertain future here, just going back and forth like that. Excuse me. After at least 5 years of struggling and just going back and forth, Jetson finally fell on his face before God and said, "Lord, if you want me to give my full time to thy work, I'll do it. I surrender all to thee." And that brought such a sense of relief. And I know in my life, when I surrendered to Christ, even I know I don't do it as often as I should. Fully yielding to Christ needs to happen every day, sometimes every hour or every minute. Full surrender is surrendering over and over again, every day, every hour, from the time you get up to the time you fall asleep, pretty much. But I know that when I surrendered to God's will, even just a few months ago, I kind of put my testimony out, or part of my testimony out, in my You Are Always Good backstory video, which if you haven't watched that, I would suggest it, not because it has some of my testimony in it, but just because it has a lot of good facts and statistics, and it's just good. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'll let you watch it, figure out what you got. But in that, I'm tying this together, but my brain went blank. Oh yeah. But when I surrendered to finally go to the treatment center again, when I did, like I wanted to wait at least another week so I wouldn't miss a piano recital. But when I did, everything seemed to just fall into place. Yeah, it was like smooth sailing pretty much. And the Lord blessed, and I got to be home for another church service before heading out, which was nice. But like when you go ahead and surrender even just little plans like that to the Lord, you feel a sense of relief almost. Well, not almost, you do feel a sense of relief. So that is pretty much what Jetson felt after he told the Lord that he surrendered all to him. And for the next several years, he traveled not just in America, but through England and Scotland, assisting in evangelical work, revivals. He was a song leader for Wilbur Chapman and other evangelists, and he was able to help when many men and women to Christ. And he wrote this hymn when he was visiting some friends, they were friends, George Sebring, and I hope I pronounced that right, and his family. The Sebrings founded Sebring, Ohio, and George Sebring later founded Sebring, Florida. But while he was visiting the Sebrings in Ohio, that was when he wrote the hymn "I Surrender All," when he was recounting and recalling the story of his own surrender. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat, and "I Surrender All" is actually one of my favorite invitational hymns. You sing it mostly during the invitation time at church. But yeah, and like I said just a moment ago, I have trouble surrendering a lot. It's hard. It's scary. And sometimes it can be frustrating. But I hope this has been a reminder, not only to you, but to me, about the benefits of full-time surrender, which far outweigh the benefits of trying to work it out on your own. So now, excuse me, I'm going to play it from the hymnal, and I might do it in this video and then make a separate video, we'll see, of what's the bass song? I Am Weak But You Are Strong arrangement that has some elements of I Surrender All in it. It was arranged by Reba Snyder in the book Celtic Hymns, which you can find on majestymusic.com. But yeah, so I'm at least going to play the hymn. So here we go. Alright, so you know what? Might as well go ahead and play the other one for you. So I mentioned that it was in Celtic Hymns, arranged by Reba Snyder. So this is one of my new favorite piano. Well, I've had this since March, but it is one of my favorite piano books because it's just really interesting. So here is I Am Weak But You Are Strong with some I Surrender All elements. So, I Am Weak But You Are Strong is written by was written by Jonathan Hamilton. This what or the lyrics were. The tune was written by Ron Hamilton, his father, and this was arranged by Reba Snyder. So you got 2 hymns today for the price of 1. All right, I hope you have enjoyed it today. I hope that this has been a challenge for you as far as surrendering. I know it's been a challenge for me, and it's an encouragement to me to just try to surrender to yield to Christ every day. All right, I will see y'all next time, either sometime midweek to let you know how the offertory that I've been working on and the Practice Makes Progress series, how that has been going. But other than that, I will see you next Sunday. Y'all have a good rest of your day, good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.